You know, Popful Mail, I have a funny feeling that we have to do a revisit on you. How you doing, everybody? This is Jason's House of Fun and Video Games, bringing you today eBay Time and Buys Revisited Volume 2. So in this series, what I do is very simple. We take a look at some of our eBay purchases over the years that may or may not have been exactly what we ordered. And because we were so excited at the time with I finally got this grail, or I got this or that or the other thing, we unfortunately missed some crucial parts of our purchase. This is simply to say, I never claim to be perfect, and I'm sure you don't either. And I must say, before we get started on this, thank you very much for the overwhelming support and watches. Watches? Like watches? Like time? No. Views, rather, right? I don't know where I got watches from, but whatever. Thank you very much for the views, most recently on this new series I created, as well as my most recent pickups, Volume 3, where I wrap up all my pickups into one video. And of course, it has nothing to do with thrift time and finds. It's still going to be ongoing. I have to tell you, though, I haven't been really hitting the thrift much lately. I've got a lot of things going on, just like everybody else does in their life. No excuses, but just kind of hitting the brakes on it for a little bit. But believe you me, I'll be hitting the thrift again, because you know we're always finding great things there. But without further ado, let's get into the most recent of our eBay purchases. Not in the time we purchased it, but revisiting it and seeing exactly what we have to offer. All right, and we are back. So this game right here is an extremely hard to find game on the Sega CD. You know I love my Sega CD collection. I still enjoy collecting for it, and I probably always will. Until the day comes where I feel I've completed it, which I'm close, but the ones that I'm after are heavy hitters. Now, looking at this purchase, clearly you can see this is a reproduction case. Clearly. I'll give you a glimpse into what isn't a reproduction case, just in case any of you have no idea what the system is, because it's fully possible. This is a authentic case for the Sega CD. Now, the good thing and the bad things with these. First of all, these things, as you can already see, we get some looseness here, so I'm going to be very careful with it, are not very good. They're extremely fragile. They crack a lot, they break. I take very good care of my games. This is an authentic Sega CD game, Rise of the Dragon. Wonderful game. I'm going to try to take out the manual without breaking this. See all these little things here? And it's literally held on by like a hinge. Just show you this because this is exactly how the cover art is on the actual game. It's just obviously a lot different from what you just saw from the size differences. It's an amazing game. I put so much time into this game, and it's a funny story. I have a story with the Super Nintendo, and I also have a story with the Sega CD game specifically. A buddy of mine, Chris, if you're watching, how's it going, man? I haven't seen you in years. Let me borrow this when we were in middle school. And I think I probably had it for about 2 years, 3 years maybe. And then all of a sudden, I saw him in school one day and he goes, "Hey Jason, you still have my Popful Mail?" "Oh yeah, I do, yeah." "You ever gonna give it back?" "Well, I really like it, man. I'd be willing to buy it off you." And to this day, at least I think I've talked to him probably once or twice in the last couple of years. And every time I've talked to him over the years, I bring this up because I've always wanted that game. And he has a pretty good Sega CD collection as well. And he couldn't part ways with it. And you know what? I can't blame him, but I have to try. It is going for a good amount right now. I think the highest I've seen it go for so far, and we're not counting the sailed stuff and the graded and all this other nonsense. Just a legitimate copy of the game. Probably $6.99 I've seen it for right now. I've seen it as high as $800. The least expensive one I've seen recently is $475, which I've been kind of keeping an eye on, but again, some weirdness with the pictures. The seller has some pretty good ratings, but for whatever reason, I'm staying away from it. And I'll pull the trigger on it eventually, and now I really have to because I had to actually take this out of the collection, and I'm going to go over with you now. So with this being a reproduction, I knew it was with the seller. Great job with covering the authenticity, I should say, rather. I should learn to speak. But it's all good. Of the actual game itself and what it would have looked like. This is pretty much what it would look like inside. I think with the manual, or maybe, oh, you know what? This is part of the manual, I believe. I can't remember now, but obviously it doesn't look like that because clearly, you know, this is the way it normally would look. So I was kind of wrong on that statement, but it's all good. I'm too excited to go over this for a really bad reason, but I knew that this was obviously a reproduction. I ended up, I don't even think it was bidding. I think I just talked to the gentleman, and, you know, obviously I've gotten a good amount of stuff on eBay. I have a pretty good reputation on there. I've always had, you know, great business transactions with people, and when things have gone south, we've always been able to figure it out in an amicable way and not acting like, you know, a jerk or being unprofessional. So, because mistakes happen, so just keep that in mind. I can't repeat that enough, and good things can happen from it. But when you're misleading about things, that makes the conversation a little bit different. So, very clear that this is a reproduction. Obviously, it does not come with the manual. But from what he said, in a quick glance, this is an authentic game, right? So, when I look at this now, I noticed a few things that kind of bothered me. Not really the placement, but the color of the disc. Interesting, right? Where this is right here, these are, I don't even know if I'll be able to zoom in on it. I don't think I will be able to, but I'm trying my hardest. I love that effect, though. Look at that rainbow effect. It's great. How do you like my lights? But right here, the word compact disc seems really out of line. It doesn't seem like the correct size. And I said, do I have a counterfeit or reproduction copy of the game as well? Because when I turn this over, you're going to know exactly what I'm talking about. And there you go. So this right here is clearly a burnt disc. Now, this isn't a fault to me. The fact that I did not find this out sooner is I played it. I had so much fun with it. I was so excited. At least I got the disc. It's in a custom case, whatever. I'm going to show you this now. Rise of the Dragon. And I think most of the games, we'll even open up another one, just double check. These can be a little different in whether they say compact disc in it and everything like that. Look at the clear difference, though. And I'm going to put this over here real quick. And I had to do this myself before this video, which was a while ago. But clearly, we're seeing some issues here already, right? So, and this is a different kind of game. I'll pull out another one, like I said. But if I flip this over, that disc isn't too bad. What do you see? This is how most discs will actually look. Hey, look, it's me. How's it going? This is a burnt copy. Do I dare pull this game out? Because I have a funny feeling we're going to be doing another one on this, but hopefully not. This right here is Lords of Thunder. I haven't checked this out, so if we find this to be counterfeit, I'm going to be really upset as well. And it is what it is, or a reproduction rather. So this one does in fact look authentic from first view. Whew. Okay, I feel a lot better. Again, that's 2 Sega CD games. Clearly we have a counterfeit or reproduction game. Now, the reason why I'm so upset about this is because of the game. So when I looked at the picture, and I remember this, I don't remember the seller's name, it doesn't matter. It's my fault for not bringing this up, so shame on me. But shame on him for not being a little misleading. When I pulled this game up, right here, this picture, just like this, was on the screen, was on the picture rather. So with that, and after looking very carefully at every other part of the game, the disc was in fact authentic in the pictures. The disc that I have is not the disc that was in the pictures. This right here is in fact, I believe, an authentic copy of Lords of Thunder. But you know what? Maybe it's for another day, and another time that we revisit our eBay buys. Hopefully I don't get disappointed in that one. But a lesson to be learned. Number one, no matter how excited you are to get a Grail or any game, you have to inspect your games. Unfortunately, I didn't. This plays just like the other one. I remember every bit of this game. I played this game, I don't even know how many hours. At least 20 or 30. I'd say easily. I don't have the save anymore because my Sega CD started acting up. And the ROM cart, the CD backup ROM cart, which now I'm really flexing, but this is a complete in box, authentic, that I know of. This would be used for games that, if you didn't have enough memory, because the Sega CD has an internal memory, but it's shit. It's not really good at all. So basically, this could plug into the Genesis part of the Sega CD, and you could get more memory to be able to save games. Now, mine did not work and ended up It ended up not working anymore, so I had to grab that to be able to do the same thing. So, excuse me. With that being said, I don't have my original save file, but I did spend a significant amount of time on this game. I truly enjoy it, and I was at least excited to get the disc. And you know me, if you've watched my videos for as long as I've been putting them out for the last couple of years, I like to collect authentic games 100%. So I'm not upset at the seller for this. I'm upset at myself. So, number one, I usually always inspect things, but I was so excited to finally get my hands on this. I must have overlooked it. And usually I will compare games. I'll do all kinds of things just to make sure, because mistakes happen. But in this case, it's my fault for not bringing it up to the seller in a reasonable amount of time. I don't even have access to the transaction. It doesn't matter. I wouldn't do that anyway because too much time has passed. Now, what the seller's fault was, like I said, back of the CD, that is clearly a burnt CD. It is a counterfeit CD. It's a counterfeit game. It's a reproduction, however you want to word it. And that means that this, according to my CLZ app, $400 plus game. It was my most expensive game I think I had in my collection, at least from regards to worth. I think. It bounces between this and a few others, but this is, in fact, 100% a reproduction. It still plays. It still does the same thing that the authentic one does, so I'm okay with it. If I ever do pull the trigger on getting the authentic one, and I'll make sure that I do it exactly how I'm doing it here, so there's no questions asked, I may actually think about selling this to somebody who doesn't have the type of funds to be able to pull the trigger on this game, or just simply wants the game, and I wouldn't charge the amount that I had. And if I was going to sell it on eBay, which I've never really went down that alley or that avenue before, but maybe someday I will, I would be 100% honest. I would take all open questions. I would have no problems with answering them and what exactly this is. So definitely some things to keep an eye out for, like we mentioned before. Inspect what you buy. I already knew I was getting a reproduction and everything else, but the game, didn't think I'd ever actually come across the case, but should have been a little bit smarter and a little bit more observant, not observant. And it is what it is at this point, but it's still a great game. I'm still happy I have it in the collection, but I have officially taken it out of my collection in regards to my app because it's a reproduction. So that's what I have for right now. And before we go and get to the wrap up, we've got a few other things to brighten up the mood. Creating another video, not that I mind, but at the same time, we'll cut down the small talk. I recently got this off of eBay. Yes, I already have this. I had many incarnations of it, or many versions of it, rather. But I don't have a screener version of this. And why? I don't know what the deal is. This movie isn't even the best Halloween movie. I've just been intrigued by it since I saw a teaser for Halloween 666, The Origin of Michael Myers. Off of the Jerky Boys VHS back in '95 when I used to rent it from the store. So it holds a very dear place in my heart. This is what really got me, and I know this is going to seem kind of foolish, but it gives you all kinds of information on it. The $15 million hit is sure to rent big. I guess it's kind of who you talk to about that one, but maybe back then this is how they push things, but whatever, it is what it is. Dr. Loomis, Donald Pleasance, Michael Myers, still at large. I just find that funny. There's another thing right here. I don't know if you folks have ever seen this before. It is from a big box retailer right there. This is just a magazine that's for free at this big box retailer. You don't see a lot of video game magazines anymore. This one's usually pretty good, but I haven't seen it in a while. But it gives you some pretty good info on some games. Something cool. My kid loves that game. Oh, look. It's the Xbox Series X. What's on the next page? It's Hot Wheels. I thought it would be the PS5. I'm going to be doing a video on any updates that I have with the PS5. And a couple of interactions I've had to deal with. And I think it'll be a good one. And I think I might do that maybe in the next 1 or 2 videos. So, cool pickup. This one right here is something I've been looking for a little bit. Silent Night. Now, this is an interpretation of Silent Night, Deadly Night. You know, I'm a huge horror fan. And I haven't had the pleasure of seeing this. But I've seen a review on it. And I said, you know what, maybe I'll give it a try. I figured by the title of the movie that it had something to do with that. It pays some homages to the original. And got it for a good price. Last, and certainly not least, we've got to move everything out of the way. This was supposed to come out in December of this year. I did not expect this. But I will tell you, I am super excited to finally get my hands on this. I haven't gotten one of these in a long time. But when I heard this was coming out, I was waiting. And I just happened to go to that big box retailer. And I saw it out of the corner of my eye. I said, oh, just another one of those. And almost had a conniption in the middle of the store. Very quietly, of course, because I'm not going to embarrass myself or draw any attention. But Friday the 13th, Part 7, The New Blood. Official figure. Now, there have been releases of this figure over the years that have been very large scale, which I never pulled the trigger on. Probably should have, because now they're $300, $400, $500, $600 complete in box. Because you know, I don't want my figures typically out of the box and not sealed. That's just the way I am as a collector with these. But look at this. Oh my goodness! I couldn't be more happy. Just look at the sheer detail of this figure. This was the first Friday the 13th movie that I saw. I saw an edited version of it, but still, you gotta love these little doors. This one's already starting to do the weird thing right here with the Velcro, but it is what it is. One, Kane Hodder, one of the greats. It comes with all of the cool weapons, although this movie was completely gutted by the MPPA. And unfortunately, the deleted scenes that are still available are from an old work print that will not be able to ever transfer into a movie, whether it's DVD form, VHS, or on, high definition. It just won't happen. But at least we got to see the gruesome kills in all their glory in some way, shape, or form, because the MPPA just killed it. So just look at the detail. I'm trying to get a good close-up of this. Wow, huh? Look at the detail that NECA puts in once again to one of their amazing action figures. It is beautiful. Let's take another look on the back, because there's some of the weapons you can't see. If you've ever seen the movie, you know where that's from. And of course, we all know where this one's from. All right. That brings us to a wrap up. A little bit longer video than I wanted it to be, but I've got a few pickups, and quite honestly, I don't think it's really necessary to shoot a video of every single thing that I get. But if I have them laying around, I'm going to put them in there. Let me know, as always, down in the comment section down below. Have you ran into this problem? I had a lot of great conversations with other folks in my first installment in the series, and it appears to be that some folks have run into this problem. There's nothing wrong, and I repeat, in my opinion, there's nothing wrong with selling a reproduction game. When it becomes counterfeit is when you're deceptive on telling the buyer or the people that are potentially going to buy your product whether in fact all the contents are in fact reproductions. That's what kind of deciphers it to me. Reproduction's not a bad thing. Thank you very much to the 120 amazing, wonderful people out there who have subscribed to the House of Fun and Video Games to watch me reel in my unfortunate failures of not paying attention to things that I buy. Like the hat, finally found it. And I bet you when those folks subscribed, they hit that notification bell, ding ding. I don't feel like putting in a little sound effect, so I did it myself. Why not? To notify you every time that we come out with another video, if you decide to hit that notification bell. But anyway, folks, this is Jason's House of Fun and Video Games. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your night. It is still the middle of the work week if I can actually get this video out on time. We're going to hold our breaths on that. I may regret that statement like I did the last time, but it doesn't matter. Because eventually you'll be watching this video, we'll get into great conversations, and we will move forward. Let's go play some Popful Mail. Anybody? Popful Mail?